Was that just a green screen breath effect that just went by? Oh, hey. Oh man, it really is cold in here. What happened to you? Whatever. Welcome, I'm the Kaiju no Kami, and tonight we're gonna continue Halloween month with John Carpenter's The Thing. In 1981, Universal approached John Carpenter to direct their latest movie, a remake of the 1951 Howard Hawks classic The Thing. The Thing was based on author John W. Campbell's novella Who Goes There. Carpenter was an avid fan of the original film and wasn't sure how he would go about remaking it. He went with the decision to have Bill Lancaster write a script that was closer to the original novella rather than Hawks' film. This wise decision made The Thing become one of the greatest remakes of all time. Sadly, though, The Thing came out around the same time as E.T., and as such, moviegoers weren't interested in a horrific alien, but they'd rather watch a cutesy one, which is a shame, because looking at it today, who still talks about E.T.? And we're still talking about The Thing, clearly. In fact, even movie theaters are still showing The Thing in theaters, and not really E.T. So yeah. The Thing begins with a spaceship crashing on Earth. We then jump to 1982, where a Norwegian helicopter is chasing after a dog through the Arctic until it reaches a US research facility. Oh, and just listen to the music in this scene. The majority of it was done by Ennio Morricone, and it perfectly enhances the tension in each scene, as its ominous sounds brings a true sense of dread to your psyche. From here, we meet our main crew of McCready, Palmer, Bennings, Gary, Norris, Knowles, Dr. Copper, Blair, Clark, Windows, Fuchs, and Childs. They are respectively played by Kurt Russell, David Clennon, Peter Maloney, Donald Moffat, Charles Hallahan, T.K. Carter, Richard Dysart, Wilford Quaker Oats, Diabetes Man, Brimley, Richard Massar, Thomas G. Waite, Joe Polis, and the outstanding Keith David, who you should know as the voice of Goliath in Gargoyles and Spawn from the HBO cartoon series. Wow, that is a lot of characters to deal with. So a gunfight escalates between our team of researchers and the Norwegians. Wow, kind of. Oops.
First turn they make it for the jackaloon. If we make it to Thanksgiving,
yeah,
you're on your own.
Boy, that escalated quickly.
This event causes confusion with everyone, so Dr. Copper has McCready fly him over to the Norwegians' base. When they get there, they find nothing but devastation and horror.
My God, what the hell happened here?
Yeah, that's kind of how I'm feeling waiting for this presidential election to be over.
Maybe they found a fossil. What is that? Is that a man in there?
They take their findings back to their base, and Blair examines the remains of some burnt men?
Well, what we got here is what appears to be, anyway, a normal set of internal organs. Heart, lungs, kidneys, liver, intestines.
That sounds delicious.
Seem to be normal.
One nice thing is that we do get to see some moments with the crew relaxing. Windows isn't working as usual.
You reach anybody yet?
Reach anybody? We're 1,000 miles from nowhere, man, and it's gonna get a hell of a lot worse before it gets any better.
While Palmer watches some game shows on this thing, whatever this is, how does this work? I mean, it's too big to fit in my PS4 and PS3 or my Blu-ray player, but I don't see any way to plug into the TV. I mean, do I have to... No? That doesn't seem to do anything there. That just seems to be a tab of some sort. What is with this stuff? What is this thing? I mean... Interesting. What the heck is this? Why not just stream off Netflix then, or watch a DVD instead of this weird thing? Well, whatever. Back to the review. That night, Clark is told to put the new canine in the kennel with the other dogs, which he does, only to have some weirdness follow suit. It's getting colder in here than it already was.
I don't know what the hell's in there, but it's weird and pissed off, whatever it is.
Bennings, go get Childs. Mac wants the flamethrower. Mac wants the what?
A flamethrower?
That's what he said, now move!
That is awesome. The next day, Blair does another autopsy and discovers that the creature has the capabilities to become other beings. Wow, they are using such advanced technology. Dr. Copper shows off a video he found of the Norwegians finding some strange objects in the ice that they blew free. MacReady and a small team head there to investigate and find what appears to be a giant circular spaceship.
How long you figure this has been in the ice?
I'd say the ice it's buried in is 100,000 years old, at least.
They also discover a block of ice that has been removed from the scene and theories commence.
The Norwegians get hold of this, and they dig it up out of the ice.
Yes, Gary, they dig it up, they cart it back. It gets thawed out, wakes up.
And how can it look like a dog?
Because it's from outer space. What do you want from me? Ask him.
Oh, and Niles finds someone's shredded clothes in the kitchen. Windows and Bennings move the specimen to the storage room, and Fuchs reads Blair's journal entries to MacReady.
What he's typed will be a window into his madness.
Needs to be alone and in close proximity with the life form to be absorbed. There is still cellular activity in these burned remains. They're not dead yet.
Oh, crap.
Windows leaves the room to get the keys to lock it.
Let's go, Bennings, I gotta get some sleep.
He freaks out and instantly dashes to get MacReady and Fuchs' help, so a search proceeds until they find the unfinished manifestation. They also roast the other specimen. Blair sabotages the base's equipment, forcing the group to quarantine him in the tool shed while they try to figure out what is going on.
Radio's gone. All we can do now is hole up till spring, wait for the rescue team.
Everybody in this camp ain't what he appears to be. By spring, it could be all of us.
Paranoia and distrust take hold of the crew as a planned blood test is also impaired.
Nobody trusts anybody now.
This leads to Fuchs' death and a belief that MacReady has been taken over when a pair of his clothes are found shredded.
MacReady?
He's one of them.
When do you think it got to him?
The team tries to lock MacReady outside, but he breaks in through a storage room where he threatens to blow up everyone if they try to attack him.
Hey, I'm in it. Not breathing.
Blair?
That's disgusting.
And now comes one of my top 2 favorite moments of dialogue from this movie.
You gotta be fucking kidding.
I never get tired of it. Clark attempts to kill MacReady with a scalpel. MacReady comes up with a new type of blood test to figure out who is not exactly who they say or believe they are.
We're gonna draw a little bit of everybody's blood. Watching Norris in there gave me the idea that maybe every part of him was a whole. Every little piece was an individual animal. See, when a man bleeds, it's just tissue. The blood from one of you things won't obey when it's attacked. It'll try and survive.
This is by far my favorite scene of the movie because it is so tense, but at the same time, it knows how to relieve the tension with its quirky dialogue like this.
Hey, come on, hurry up! It's coming back! Burn it! Burn it! Hurry up, MacReady! Burn it! Cut me the hell! Come on, get me out of here! Come on, get me out of here! Cut me loose, damn it!
And of course it features my other favorite line in the movie.
When you find the time, I'd rather not spend the rest of this winter tied to this fucking couch!
Oh, failed. Afterwards, 3 of the remaining 4 go to the tool shed to give Blair the test, only to find him gone. They discover a small tunnel underneath the shed that leads to a mini spaceship Blair was building.
Stole the parts from the helicopter.
Smart SOB, put it together piece by piece.
The power goes out just after the trio sees Childs running across the base. A decision is made to blow the base up in order to stop the creature from freezing itself.
We're not getting out of here alive. Neither's that thing.
They load the base up with dynamite and find themselves to be under attack from the alien menace, and Nulls and Garys don't make it while MacReady is successful in blowing it up.
Yeah, fuck you too!
An exhausted Childs crashes next to MacReady as they both await their fates.
How will we make it?
Maybe we should.
If you're worried about me.
If we've got any surprises for each other, I don't think we're in much shape to do anything about it.
Thus giving us a depressing ending to our movie. Interestingly enough, actually, John Carpenter had apparently filmed an alternate ending where MacReady is rescued and proves that he is human using the blood test. Personally, I think the ending that we got is perfect and gloomy, just the way this movie's entire tone is. Although you could always play the PlayStation 2 video game if you want to follow up to this. Don't play it. It's not good. Nevertheless, The Thing is one truly spectacular masterpiece to both science fiction and horror. The plot is simplistic, yet it is in the suspense, the tension, and the paranoia that drives the movie the way a horror film should. Yet again proving that sometimes less is better. Every scene of The Thing is well shot and well crafted. There is a perfect balance between when the movie wants you to be scared and when it wants you to feel relaxed, which is another aspect that isn't seen very often in today's world. It also plays with your mind as to who may not be who they say they are. Plus, it is interesting to wonder if the person who is simulated with that thing even knows that they have become one, or are they left unaware of the fact until it is too late? For example, did Norris know he was one of them when he went out with MacReady to look at the spaceship? Carpenter plays this aspect up so masterfully that it is hard to know what the truth is. Maybe Blair was infected before he learned of the thing's intentions. Who knows? And it is these thoughts that continue to drive this movie with every viewing. The characters themselves are all lovable bunches, each one has their own distinct personality, and you want every one of them to survive. This is also a rarity with horror movies, as most movies these days have a large cast that is there simply to die. The standout character is of course MacReady, as Russell does an incredible job of driving the focus on his character with being the most logically balanced of the entire crew. Childs also holds a great deal of presence thanks to the wonderful talent Keith David provides with the film. Then we have Gary thanks to Moffat's standout performance during the test scene. Oh, and let us not forget Blair, who is the first to really go nuts, which seems to have a ripple effect as he is the catalyst that causes everyone to distrust each other, despite everyone clearly knowing each other for some time. That is what amps the ante. It is not like some newbie was just added to asunder their crew with some conveniently placed X factor. They all trust each other in the beginning, and to see them ripped apart so easily brings a dramatic element into the mix, as it goes to show that no matter how long you have known each other, one simple little thing can offset the balance forever. I could babble on forever about this aspect, but I do need to talk about the effects, which are absolutely stunning. This movie does for the horror genre what Aliens does for the action one. First off, some of the film was shot near Alaska while other parts were on a soundstage. Carpenter had actually blown up the base for the ending of the movie and then filmed the scenes of the Norwegian camp there that MacReady and Copper explored. That was downright ingenious. The majority of the effects for the creature were done on the soundstage in LA, and they are gruesome looking. Rob Batten and his team worked on the majority of the effects for The Thing, while Stan Winston assisted with the effects that dealt with the dog creature. The end result clearly shows that everyone worked as hard as they could to provide some of the best effects work ever put into a horror film. The highlight goes to the Norris scene with the elongated neck, and most of all to the spider-head creature that tries to get away from Norris's body is cooked. Of course, the effects work didn't end there, as you had Palmer getting set on fire that looked very realistic, and the amalgamation of beings at the end. This movie highlights the fact that you don't need special computer-generated effects to make monsters look good. You just need people who are passionate about their work and the end results. Finally, as I mentioned before, Ennio Morricone scored the majority of the movie, and every adds to the tension the movie already conveys. Alan Howarth also added a few of his own bits to fill in gaps that Carpenter needed for certain instances, such as Benning's transformation bit and other areas like it. Together with the supervision of Carpenter's own expertise, they have forged a truly breathtaking score that is so perfect even the 2011 pre-remake stole half of it for its film. If that doesn't seal this score as a defining one, nothing will. There is nothing else I can really say about this movie now that I haven't already said. If you have never seen this movie before, I am so sorry for spoiling it for you. However, I think no matter what, you will still find it really tense and suspenseful because it is that well made. Ooh. It is still cold in here, so I think I'm going to head back out into the heat. Until next time, bye. Ooh.
You really want to save those crazy sweets.
I gotta admit, I did not expect a chainsaw.